Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Matt Rhule and the Nebraska Cornhuskers add another commit to the 2024 class, and a really interesting kid out of high school in Ashton Murphy from the state of Nebraska. The first thing that's jumping off the screen at you, you look at the picture, right? 6'5", 240 pounds. He's thin. But Matt Rhule's talked about how he likes to recruit offensive linemen. He likes to recruit athletes. You can always put weight on those dudes, but some of the times when you get guys coming out of high school who are 6'6", 320 pounds as seniors in high school, maybe they're not the best athletes. You're getting a phenomenal athlete at the tackle position in Ashton Murphy. You get a few runs of meals in them. You get that's the restaurant out there in Nebraska. Shout out. But also you get him in the strength and conditioning room. Like, he's gonna put on the weight. That's what all these guys do. And Ashton Murphy is a very, very interesting prospect. Now, before we get into it, we're going to be covering just a little bit of how the recruiting trail has gone for Matt Rhule in Nebraska in his first full recruiting cycle. I just want to say thank you to you guys. Anytime I get a chance to talk some Big Red football, I always do, just because the fans have just shown so much support to the fellas. So, again, if you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. I can't thank you guys enough. Again, I always say, out there the other year to watch a Michigan game, just an absolutely incredible environment. Y'all love your football out there, and I'm just going to keep saying it because, again, I just appreciate it. That's what college football is absolutely about. Now, got their spring game coming up in 2 weeks. We'll be recapping that too. So, again, lock in. We'll be talking a lot of Nebraska football in the next couple months, and hopefully a lot of recruiting battles being won for Nebraska. So let's get into Ashton Murphy. They swung and missed on a few offensive tackles, right? You thought you had a really good chance to land Andrew Sprague. He ends up going to Michigan. Still a lot of good tackles on the board. And Ashton Murphy, maybe not the highest on some people's boards. Wouldn't be surprised if he was higher on Matt Rhule's board than most. You see 24/7, like their rankings, they like him. He's 33rd offensive tackle on the board, according to the composite, a little bit lower at 49. One of the best players in Nebraska. And again, what we talk about is he's an athlete, right? Played defensive line. He played offensive line. I believe he had 8.5 sacks his junior year of high school. Like, this dude can get after it on the defensive side of the ball. He's got that frame. If you put on some weight to that frame, he's going to be a good offensive tackle. And one of the guys I just love to talk about when you're dealing with some of these smaller offensive tackles, David Bakhtiari, when he came into Colorado, he was 6'5", 260 pounds coming into Colorado. You see him, he's swimming in his Colorado jersey on those official visit pictures. What happens? He gets there. He's a phenomenal athlete. He puts on the weight. He gets the play strength up, and now he's going to be a Hall of Famer offensive tackle. I'm not saying Ashton Murphy's going to be a Hall of Famer offensive tackle by any means, but you feel good about it. And what you really feel good about is you're trusting Matt Rhule in his process. Ashton Murphy's a guy from the state of Nebraska. He had him on campus today, and then he gets the commitment. One of the things you love to see if you're a Nebraska fan, and this is not going to turn into like a bag on Scott Frost episode here, but you never really had the cream of the crop recruits visiting campus. You take a look at this 2024 cycle, and yeah, you haven't necessarily landed that marquee guy, though Roger Gradney, certainly a solid player. You're getting those guys on campus. You're making a lot of top fives on the edits, right? Brandon Baker, heavily considering Nebraska. He's coming back for an official visit. That's massive, right? The number one offensive tackle in the country. Did Scott Frost ever have the number one offensive tackle in the country visit during his tenure in Nebraska? You obviously have Dylan Raiola taking many visits, so really hope you can land him. Guys like Nathaniel Frazier from Mater Dei as well at that running back spot. Williams Amunari could be another example. You're getting the elite five-star talent on campus, and you're not going to win every single battle, but you're seeing Nebraska be a destination for some of these top guys that they want to go out and see what's cooking in Lincoln. And Matt Rhule, I really do have confidence that he's going to be able to close out some of these battles. Now, I want to take us to the 2024 class and how it's rounding out so far, right? Third commit that you have, 2 on the offensive line and 1 in Roger Gradney, who's an athlete, probably going to play that cornerback position. It's early, and you only have 3 commits, but you're in it for a lot of these guys. Davion Hall from Bellevue West, you're kind of battling Penn State for. But what I kind of want to highlight is that you're going toe-to-toe with Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, Oklahoma, some of these top programs across the country. That's, if you're a Nebraska fan, that's what you want to start seeing, and attracting all this top talent to campus, going toe-to-toe. You're not going to land them all, but that traction means something and it means a lot. And you're feeling pretty good if you're a Nebraska fan. Yeah, not necessarily commit standpoint, but some of the prospects and talent that you're getting on campus, taking a look at Lincoln, feeling really good about it. Again, wanted to provide just a quick kind of touch on Ashton Murphy committing to Nebraska. Appreciate all the support you guys have shown. Again, spring game coming up. Lock in. I can't wait to watch that spring game. New offense and defense coordinator. Obviously, the first time we get to see this Matt Rhule team in action, even though it's just a spring game, I'm going to overhype it and I'm going to love it. And again, I know you guys are going to sell out the crowd. So again, appreciate all the support you guys have shown. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.